Welcome. Another edition. And this is episode 6. Evening. You're watching Evening on Tom Brand 1 Thoughts. Going to change that name soon to kind of make it flow a little bit nicely. And what we do on this channel, we do everything and anything, TV locations, famous places, a smorgasbord, nostalgia, everything. And I have the Tom Brand 1, which is a comedy channel, and I have From the Bleachers sports show, which, you guessed it, guys, is actually a sports show. So here you go. And there's a little bit of everything. Just want to kind of like current events and topics here. Evening, that's what it is. Episode 6. Check out my prior episodes, and the grind. Another week. Another week is gone, and already approaching November, right? And then you have Thanksgiving. And then you have Christmas. I feel as if almost Thanksgiving is overlooked, and just like right after like October, beginning of November, it's like, boom, forget about Thanksgiving. It's almost like we're going straight into getting ready for Christmas mode, right? Like some of the, like last year, if I recall correctly, I seen some stores already decorated early November, like in the mall, that is, with like Christmas tree and Christmas decorations and stuff like that, all ready to go. I believe even we took our Santa pictures with my son. I think it was even before Thanksgiving in the mall. So I believe even Santa is even there before Thanksgiving. Maybe like the week of Thanksgiving, or it was right around that time. Maybe it might have been a week before. Yeah, so Santa is going to be out in the mall soon. And why, you ask, why do we take our pictures so early? Well, when you have a toddler, you're trying to make things as simple as easy. Does that make sense? As simple as possible. You try to avoid the long lines, and that's what we did. So we did that, and you know what? Bingo bango, boom boom, in and out. Thank you very much. Don't have to wait at those long lines for Santa. As these maniacs do not know how to drive. New York, it is, I'm telling you, the most aggressive state of just people that do not know how to drive. It's beyond me of how undrivable some of these people are. Anyway, here we are. Traffic, Friday night. So yeah, that was how I started speaking about malls, and that's right, because it's already November approaching. Yeah, so, and I don't know if that's by you guys, like where people already, where they forget about, where they jump right into Christmas. I think it's everywhere. I think it's not just a big city thing. Maybe let me take that back. Maybe like in the South, smaller cities, it's like that too, where it's a little bit different, where they're more family focused, and stop to smell the roses. Maybe that's right. Maybe it's just so fast-paced atmosphere out here on the East Coast. I don't know, but yeah, that's what I find. But I'm taking advantage of the weather, to be very honest with you. It's starting to change, but it's not that bad where it's like completely cold. It's you gotta wear a little jacket. I gotta wear a jacket, like a light jacket, like I'm wearing can't see it, but I'm wearing a light jacket now. It's light. It's nothing warm. But you could still go out, and take a little walk, and it gets darker here. It probably gets dark around, at this point, probably around 5. Is it 5? Maybe later. To be honest, I haven't been paying attention. Really, and that's kind of leads into I find, and just like if I were to give you my tips on stuff, we find ourselves, getting into ruts or funks, whether it be, just if you're unemployed, you're looking for a job, or you're working and you're stressed at work, or you're just having a lousy week altogether. So what happens? For example, you're in a bad mood. You go to work, you're miserable. You leave work, the commute, that doesn't help you. You're miserable as well. You go home in a bad mood. You eat, you fall asleep, repeat. So it's constantly and that's everyday life. I mean, I get it. Majority of us, we do, working class, 9 to 5 jobs, daily grind. And to get yourself, I think this is key. If you're in a rut, or if you're in a funk, if you're depressed, do something different to kind of get you out of that run or funk, and that could just change everything completely. Change your whole mindset on everything. Like if you're depressed and you're cooped up in the house, step outside. Step outside. Look at the sun. If it's sunny out, I mean, sit on the porch. Just look at everything. People watch. Look at all the cars go by. Count all the cars that go by. Or what's even better, if you could do it, if you're up for it, do an activity outside. Do a Sudoku puzzle outside. Do people still play Sudoku puzzles outside? Do an activity, rollerblade, ride a bicycle, jog, or walk. Do an activity to get your blood, your energy flowing, and that could help change your whole mindset. It could quote unquote, wake you up, and I think that helps, because how was that work? And it's the same stress, and you just need sometimes something. Step outside for a couple of minutes, just to break that pattern and start fresh again. Start fresh. Because if you're just constantly in that same grind, in that same bubble, and don't do something to break it up, to kind of get you out of that funk, you might not even realize in your funk, but you're constantly doing the same thing, and it's over and over again, and it's just taking a toll on you. Do something different to change it up, change the atmosphere, change the vibe, and get you on your right path again. I know how it is. It's depressing when you're trying to find a job, you're trying to make ends meet, you're worried about what to make for dinner. Certain everyday life can make you depressed, and I really think just going outside. Like I went on a walk around work, and I felt like $1,000,000. Was able to tackle the problem that I had with at work with a whole new different mindset. Sometimes it's okay to take a step back, reevaluate, reassess the situation, and come back to it. Get your mind thinking about something else, get your blood flowing about something else for a short time, and then come back to it. And that's when you will be most efficient, and you will be able to conquer whatever you have to conquer. And I truly 100% believe that. So yeah, that's something different that I did today. Just kind of gotta get a breath of fresh air before it starts snowing and like miserable and being like 30 degrees outside. And I think we're gonna be due on the East Coast here, at least in the New York region. We're due for a motherfucker. So last year was pretty gentle on us. So what they say usually, things are brewing if you had a okay winter, right? I seen this video circulating, and it's, I believe, I forget the child's name. I believe it's Rayden or Brandon, something along those lines. I will obviously get that description right. I'll get the name right after I finish this video. My couple thoughts here, and it's sad. It's sad. I mean, the kid's 12 years old. Not the smallest of kids, big kid. And I bring that up for a reason. Bigger kid. Looks like he could definitely hold his own. 12 years old. He has, I believe it's autism. Deaf in one ear. And he's been bullied since he was 9 years old. He's now 12. And this video was, it's viral. It's been making the rounds on the internet. And, a lot of stars are commenting on it. And, he's getting smacked around. He's getting bullied. It's sad. It's a terrible video to watch. Terrible. And who? I don't know how this continues to be, right? Especially how society, I guess, has been changing, has been evolving. Who do you blame? Do you blame the parents as well for not teaching their kids the proper respect to have for other human beings that are different than us, that have deficiencies? Do you blame the parents for not having for their kids acting the way they are? And what if in actuality the parents have been talking to these kids? Kids, sometimes they put up a nice wall where they act one way at home and act a different way around their friends. Do these kids know the difference between right or wrong? And if they do know the difference between right or wrong, why are they doing it? Do they want to be cool with the bad kids in school? Be part of the quote unquote cool kids? It's just a sad video. You don't know who's to blame. I think everyone's to blame. Everyone is to blame. Everyone was picked on. I think anyone that tells you that they were never picked on is lying to themselves, or is acting a little bit too proud. I think everyone was picked on. And, back then, growing up in the 80s, I'm sorry as you fell there. So like I was saying, it's something that bullying, I think it's something that everyone went through, one way or another, for a period of time, long periods of time. It could be not only school, it could be even in adulthood. It could be in the workplace. It could be at the gym. It's all forms of bullying, not just at school. When I was growing up in the 80s, in that time frame, it was told to us, and even generations before us, that you stand up for yourself. You stand up for yourself. Someone smacks you around, you stick up for yourself. I mean, how would I handle this situation now if I was a kid? And if I was him? I don't know. It comes to a point where the parents have to be involved. Once I find out if I was bullied or my child was bullied, I would contact the parents directly. I'm sure all of these parents are more or less the same age, so there's not a generational gap. All grew up during the same time frame. Should be able to communicate with each other. Communicate, with the parents. Ask them for their child to please stop. Here is why I'm asking you to stop, in a polite, civil way. Maybe even have the kids meet. Bring a setup, or set up a meeting between all of them, and maybe the kids need to be explained exactly what's going on. I don't know. But it comes a point, though, when all else fails. If it was me, all else fails, and I'm trying, I would stick up for myself. And I'm not saying that is the right way. I guess it's just more of a response to how sad the whole situation is. And it's sad because I see, and bullying should not be happening, because I see how certain issues, how people feel, how society feels about certain issues now that they've never felt about before, and how they rally around a certain cause, make progress and improve certain things that was wrong with society before. So I see that aspect of it. But then I see how society acts on social media now. When I was growing up, there was no such thing as social media. So you really didn't have to deal with that. Now, not only do you have bullying, but you could also be bullied on social media. It's just scary. It's a scary time. Scary time. It seemed like, back then, growing up, listen, if you had a problem with someone, you'd get in a fight, and that's it. Either you won or you lost, and it kind of stopped. That was the end of it. You fought that person. You took your chance. Hey, either you won or you lost. But it was almost like a respect between your bully and you, that, all right, I'm not gonna mess around with you. You know what I mean? It's such. Bullying has always been around, and it's sad that it has. It's just I'm in amazement. Where now, even how the tail end of my generation, how they were brought up, even the early 90s, how things started changing and started to be more progressive and not, I guess I just see how society is now and how it's evolved, how it's changed. But then I see how it's just still the same in certain ways, and it's sad. It's sad that children are being bullied. That is the worst absolute feeling. And I think he even was writing something on his forehead, on his hands, that he wanted to kill himself or that he wanted to die. Jeez, guys, man, the parents have to be involved and make things right. And and I don't know how the parents are able. It's a frustrating feeling. And it seems like the school system, school systems are afraid to do anything now. Jesus, let me tell you, when I was going to elementary school, the school systems were way different. Way different. You misbehaved, you stuck out your hand, that none with the school ruler right across your knuckles, and then you go home and you complain that you got disciplined by your teacher. You would get disciplined by your parents for the teacher having to discipline you for the fact that you should know better. Nowadays, parents get upset at the teacher for trying to discipline their student, or yelling at their student, or having the student stay behind in detention. Do kids even have detention anymore? I don't know. This whole bullying thing is just it's a sad thing. And I hope there comes a point where there will never be such a thing as, where bullying will be gone, and we could truly accept each other as being different. How about we change the mood up a little bit here? So this is meant to be just, it's meant to cover everything, so I don't want to depress everyone. This is, a little bit of everything we cover. Read this story that I'd like to share with you in this past week's news. I don't know if you guys caught it. A big shock. Well, maybe it's a shock, maybe it's not a shock. A Florida man was arrested for having sex with a blanket. Why? You shocked that it's Florida? Oh, Florida man. Florida. Never ceases to amaze me, that wonderful state of Florida. I got love for you, Florida. I do. I love Orlando. And what's that? That's city next to Orlando. Kissimmee. Like that name of that city too. So shout out to Florida. Kissimmee. Yeah, so the character, because there was a character on this blanket. You want to take a stab at what the character was? Okay, well, I see that you give up. And that was Olaf. Olaf from Frozen. And one could argue that this man was really trying to let it go. Let it go, let it go. He apparently thought that it was legal. He was asking for a friend, so he was just experimenting and asking for a friend. Now, he really was not apparently aroused by the situation, just asking for a friend, like I said. And as these people do not know how to drive again. Anyway, he believe it or not, folks, I believe he was naked. So he really was letting everything go, letting his inhibitions go. And, what more can you say, guys, except for let it go. He was a little bit, when the cops caught him, his face was frozen. Da-dunk. Yes, his face was frozen. Now, no word exactly. He also asked, according to the police report, he really picked Olaf because he was very fond of his long nose. Now, Florida man was naked, Olaf with his long nose, one could only assume why he was fond of his long nose in the Florida man. So we had that story that popped out. And I'm sure many things have popped out from the Florida man during this exchange. Florida. Going on to another story. Actually, not another story. Do you want to talk? Do you guys watch Jersey Shore? You guys watch Jersey Shore? I still do. I still do. And I gotta be honest with you guys. This show just cracks me up. It cracks me up, and it just goes to show you that, and the reason why I like this is the fact that I don't know if anyone could trust. I don't know if you could trust anyone on that show. That shit talking, back and forth arrogance. You're not picking up anything educational at all, guys. I mean, it's back and forth bickering. Every other word is bleeped out because it's a cuss word. One is accusing the other one of flirting with her man or kissing with her man. The other one is saying no, that's not the case. That she's just a shit stirrer. That she's not doing anything, and it just goes back and forth. It's perfect. It's something to get your mind off of things. Because honestly, who needs, after a long, stressful day, who wants to watch something depressing on TV? What are you going to watch? The History Channel? TLC? No. Home Improvement? HGTV, was it? HGTV, right? You're going to watch that? No, you're going to watch the Jersey Shore. And this has been going strong for 10 years. And the drama just suckers me in. I don't know what it is. It just suckers me in. Maybe, listen. Maybe because I'm just stressed out at work. And life is stressful at times, which is I just find this amusing. And I've been following this show religiously for 10 years. Really, I have. And these guys are... Listen, I don't know how people live through this type of drama. It's funny to me because I'm on the outside looking in. But some of this drama, it's like, if it was my real life, you cut these people off like it's high school drama. I feel like I'm 18, like I'm 20 years younger again, and I'm 18 years old. Now, props for MTV, though, for bringing that show back after being on a little hiatus, bringing that show back. And the kids this generation loves it. They eat it up. So, MTV knows where the money is at. And these guys, because the chaos that they bring, now, I don't know if it's staged or not. I'm sure some of it is staged. But this chaos that these guys bring is a perfect formula where they're not going to ever have to get real jobs in their life. And they're gonna be 50 years old. And they're going to be like 50, and they're still starring on Jersey Shore, like 50 years old now, and then their kids will also be on Jersey Shore now. So it'll be a chain reaction, and their kids. MTV has found the perfect found the perfect solution to keep this going. Bravo. 10 years later, I'm not here to go one episode after episode with you, but I am approaching 39 years old. And some of these guys are older than me. Majority of them, I think, are my age, and they're like acting like that 18, 19. I love it. Perfect solution. Keeps me drawn in all the time. Check out Jersey Shore, honestly. Check it out. Just my couple of thoughts here as we close out this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, this is just a couple of thoughts that were on my mind. So, with that being said, I wish you a happy Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or whenever you're looking at this video, and we will speak very, very soon. Check out my other channels, and Halloween's coming up. Got some Halloween content already up on this channel, and yeah. Till next time, ciao.